Hey guys, it's Traeh, and today's video is of course a natural hair horror story. Now this one is going to be another crazy one because these horror stories, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but I get sent some crazy horror stories. So if you haven't checked out my whole horror story playlist, please check it out and like hold on to your edges because they are really crazy. So of course this is going to be another one. But before we jump into the video, I did want to remind you guys that I did release some merch. So if you didn't check it out already, the link will be in the description box. And I will also be releasing more merch soon, so stay on the lookout for that. And if you support the merch, a part of the proceeds will be going to a foundation called Kids with Wigs. So if you do support, it's going to a good cause. So now let's jump into this horror story. So the email reads, "Hey Traeh, my name is Tiara and I'm here to share my natural hair horror story. I wanted my hair to be on point for my birthday. I had been wanting crochet braids for the longest." Y'all, we had a horror story, a crochet braid horror story. So let's see if they are similar. I'm telling you, you guys go to the same stylist, I'm telling you. Anyway, so this girl I worked with at the time told me she knows how to do hair. Mind you, she would always come to work with her hair on point. Now that could be a good sign, okay? Definitely check out the person's hair that's going to be doing your hair, because if they keep their hair down, more than likely they should be able to do your hair, or that's what you would assume, because some people actually do their hair really well and can't do other people's hair, and vice versa actually. So we'll see how this goes. So I asked her if she could do it for me. I really didn't know much about the process of crochet braids, so I asked her what I should do to my hair to prepare it. She told me to wash and deep condition it and come to her house. So that's exactly what I did. When I got to her house, she washed out the deep conditioner and began blow drying my wet, natural, kinky hair. Okay. I didn't think anything of it. After blow drying it, she began parting and braiding it. Here's where ish gets real. I can't even describe to you how tight this girl can braid. Can you guys see where this horror story is going? Like now I feel like that's so Raven, like I can see into the future. Like I can predict what's happening before I even read it. Just because I recognize the pattern. We're talking about tight braids, so either she's going to pull your hair out or she's going to leave you with no edges. So, I mean, it's the same thing. So let's see. It felt like she was braiding my scalp. Wait, hold up. It felt like she was braiding my scalp, my thoughts, my mind, everything but my hair. That is funny. I'm sorry to laugh. It is funny though. So, because the other girl said the person that did her hair gripped her imagination. So that braider gripped her imagination. Now she gripped your thoughts, your mind. Oh god, this is crazy. So she gripped everything but your hair. Mind you, she told me that she doesn't braid too tight because she's done this girl's hair before who had brain surgery and she didn't complain. Just because people don't complain doesn't mean you're not gripping their thoughts, because we know a lot of people from the horror stories that I've read, you know, they'll complain to me, but they won't tell the stylist that's doing their hair. So anyway, and braiders, they always think they don't braid too tight. But the first thing they want to say is, oh, you're tender-headed. Like, no, you just braid too dang tight. Anyway, I was like, girl, I'm about to need brain surgery with how tight you're braiding. Anywho, I let her know that it was very tight and hurt. Of course, she said the braids need to be tight for the style to last. Of course, the typical stylist line. So I stupidly put up with it. After she braided my hair, you could have sworn I was Chinese because my eyes were pulled back so far. Insert SpongeBob picture. Oh my goodness. At this point I had a migraine, but I allowed her to finish. Of course he did. Of course. Doesn't matter how much pain you're in. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. The end result was pretty, besides her leaving out some of my hair in the front that was hard to blend with the crochet hair. When I got home, I jumped in the shower and drenched my hair with water, hoping the braids would loosen up, but they didn't budge. I ended up still wearing the hair for my birthday and then removed them about a week later. Now this is what you've been waiting for. Okay, so we haven't gotten there yet. She gripped your thoughts, but we haven't gotten there yet. She pulled your hair back so far, but we haven't gotten there yet. You got a migraine, but we haven't gotten there yet. I'm curious to see what happens then, because if you dealt with all of that, but we haven't even gotten to the bad part, I'm curious to know what happened. So let's keep on going. Now this is what you've been waiting for. I felt so relieved to take out that hair, only to realize that I had sores and blood on my scalp and the front. Of course you did. She said blood. Okay. Luckily, I still had my edges and my hair didn't come out too much. Yeah, you are lucky, bleeding and all, but you were lucky you kept your edges, because some of our other fellow naturalistas weren't so lucky. I never went back to her to do my hair ever again and never told her about the damage she caused my scalp. See, that's where we keep going wrong, okay? That's where we keep going wrong. We have to communicate what's going on, because if you don't tell these stylists what's happening, then that can potentially happen to the next person, the next naturalista that comes in her chair. And we gotta help our fellow sisters out. So it's best to not, I know we try not to hurt their feelings, or we try to just, move past it. However, we do need to actually speak up, even if you don't want anything to come out of that. As far as you getting a refund or anything, even if you don't want all of that, you should definitely still voice what happened, because you don't want that to potentially happen to someone else. But anyway, hey, maybe she'll see this video and realize, hopefully. So to everyone watching this, don't be like me. If someone is braiding too tight, say never mind, because it isn't worth it in the end. And I have said this in probably every single horror story here on my channel, but it's definitely not worth it. P.S. Please don't mind my nails in the picture. P.P.S. I only paid her $60. Love your channel and congrats on your pregnancy, Tiara. Thank you so much, Tiara, and thank you for sending me your natural hair horror story. Now, girl, I feel like we kind of already dived into this and, talked about it as we went along, but just to recap, okay, while we have all of our thoughts together, while everyone is sitting here collecting their thoughts and holding on to their edges, let's go and talk about what happened. Okay, so just like Tiara said, if someone is braiding your hair too tight, you need to stop and run, stop, drop, and run, because you'll end up being like her and many others that experience these crazy things from their braids being too tight. So she knows that now, but she did end up having blood on her scalp from the braids being too tight. Good thing she was able to keep her edges, because some of our fellow naturalistas weren't able to keep their edges, or parts of their hair wouldn't grow back after it was pulled out. So she's definitely one of the lucky ones, to say the least. And for us to say that she's actually lucky, that's, I don't know. These stories are just so freaking crazy. And most of them end up dealing with braids. And with protective styles, there are a lot of protective styles that involve braids. So maybe that's why. Yeah, there's nothing else really to say about this natural hair horror story. Once again, speak up or leave. Don't ever just say, you know what, maybe it'll get better, or I'll just go get some medicine or take some medicine, or I'm just gonna try to loosen it myself. Just don't even put yourself through it, as Tiara already said. So thank you so much, Tiara, for sending me your natural hair horror story. If you guys have a natural hair horror story that you are dying for me to share on my channel, definitely send me an email. My email is down below. But yeah, I just have so many to go through, so please be patient with me, okay? That's why I'm trying to do 2 horror stories so that I can do them back to back, just to get more horror stories out. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this natural hair horror story. Make sure to check out the other one because I am posting 2 of them today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, and I do want to do a Q&A on either Snapchat or Instagram, so make sure that you're following me on both so that you're able to send in questions for my Q&A. I think I want to do just like a general Q&A and then a pregnancy related Q&A, because on my last live stream a lot of you guys had pregnancy questions, and I also want to do an update. So lots of things are coming soon, so make sure that you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. Everything is at iamtraeh. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything, you can leave them below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.
Mama told me not to sell word. Mama 17, 5, same color t-shirt, white. Mama told me not to sell word.